Hello friends and welcome to the JSM Infotech. My name is Jay Kumar Mane. Okay, in the last video, we have seen how to create a simple web-based application using NetBeans, right? In this video, we are going to cover basics of HTML, means how we can create a simple registration form using HTML. What is JSP? What is servlet? How we can interact with the Java application from the database, right? So we are going to cover all these things. So basically what is HTML? HTML is a hypertext markup language used for designing purpose. You can design forms, tables, web pages using HTML, right? So what is the purpose of HTML? Purpose of basic means HTML is a basic designing language for front end. So we can design tables, forms, etc. Simple web pages we can design using HTML. So now our aim is to design this form: name, contact number, email ID, password, city using HTML. Before that, we will see what is a JSP and what is a servlet. So what is JSP? JSP is a Java server pages. JSP page consists of HTML tags. What kind of coding we can do in JSP? What kind of coding we can do in JSP? We can have HTML code. We can write HTML code in JSP. We can write JavaScript code in JSP. We can write CSS code in JSP. Means front-end code, front-end part we can do in JSP. Apart from the front-end, we can have a Java code also in JSP. So to write Java code in JSP, there is one tag that is called as a scriptlet tag. This is a scriptlet tag. So this is start of scriptlet, this is the end of scriptlet, and in between this, whatever you can write in JSP inside this scriptlet tag is nothing but the Java code. Whatever you can write here will be considered as a Java code. So this is the JSP. Now we are going to create one JSP page. We will do coding of HTML for registration form in that. Now see, we will have one task. We will do one task right now. What is our task? Design one registration form with these fields: name, contact number, email ID, password, city. Create one database. In that database, create one table with these fields, with these columns, that is name, contact number, email ID, password and city. And when user will fill up this form, the user information will get inserted into that table. So this is our aim. So for this purpose, what we will require? We will require one registration form in JSP. We will require one servlet. We will require one database. We will require one table in that database, and we will require JDBC. Okay. So see, what is a servlet? Servlet is used to provide dynamic web pages in Java. So yesterday in last video we have seen what is the need of servlet. Servlet is used to provide dynamic web pages in Java. So how servlet can provide dynamic web pages? Servlet can provide dynamic web pages with some callback methods of that servlet. For example, do get, do post, process request. These are some callback methods of servlets. With the help of these methods, servlet can provide dynamic web pages. Okay. Now, second important thing is what? Servlet is also a .java file. Normal Java class is also a .java file. So what is the difference between normal Java class and servlet? What is the difference between normal Java class and servlet? So normal Java class contains main method. Whenever you will create one Java class, there is one main method in that class. But in a servlet, there is no any main method. Servlet has methods like do get, do post, process request. These are the callback methods. And with the help of whatever our business logic, that will be written inside this do get or do post or the process request method, so that servlet can provide the dynamic web pages. Right? Okay. Now the next thing is what? Most important thing. Whenever you will create any servlet, the entry of that servlet must be done in the web.xml. So right now you just keep in your mind that there is one web.xml file in your project, and you have to make an entry of your servlet into the web.xml file. How to make an entry in the web.xml, that I will tell you while coding. Okay, so now we'll start our work. So this is NetBeans IDE. This is NetBeans IDE. In the last video, we have seen how to create a project. Now I will create here a file, new project. I want to create a web based application, so I will select here as a Java web. Next, I will give the name of this web application as a simple web 2. Next, and next, we are not going to use any framework, so finish. So this is a automatic coding in index.html. This is simple web 2. These are the default folders that will automatically get created when you will create any new project. Web pages, source packages, libraries and configuration file. As we have discussed already, in the web pages there will be a front end part. In a source packages there will be a backend, means servlet or Java classes. So in web pages I will create one new page, that is a new JSP. I will give the name of that page as a registration.jsp. Finish. Okay, I want to design a registration form. I want to design one registration form with this. This is the registration form, means I want to design a registration form like this: name, contact number, email ID, password and city. So basic HTML coding. Suppose if there are some students from electronics background, this is basic HTML coding. All the HTML code will appear inside this start of HTML and end of HTML. So HTML, in HTML there is one head tag. In the head tag there is a title tag. So in the title tag I will write as a registration. Registration. Okay. So HTML head, title, head tag end. Now here there will be a body tag. Now what is the significance of body tag? Whatever you will write inside the body tag, that will appear on the web page. For example, I will write here as a testing. I will right click here and run file. Always select Google Chrome here, browser as Google Chrome. So here is a output as a testing. This is the registration. This is the registration title tag. Okay. So again I will give some examples of HTML tags. H1 tag is there. Here I can write as a registration. Registration with H1 tag. I'm going to show you some tags. H2 tag, registration with H2 tag. H3 tag is there. Registration with H3 tag. Like that you can have tags H3, H4, H5. So this is the output registration with H1 tag. Now you may have an idea, you may got an idea that what is the significance of this H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 tags similarly. So now I'm going to remove it. Okay, now my aim is what? I want to design one registration form. So I want to I want that I want that registration form there should be appear like a registration form and that should be at center but in the H1 tag. So inside this I will write here as a registration form, right? Inside this registration form I want to have one form. So again in the center tag, so again in the center tag I want to design form, so there is a form tag. Inside this form tag there is one table tag. Why table tag? So that the form should appear good in the table format like that. So, so this is our form. I want to design this form. So what is the procedure? So inside the table taxi, concentrate on this form. This is one form. This is a table, right? In this table there are two columns. I will go row by row. This is first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. In each row there are two columns. In first column there is a field name. In the second column there is a text box. Right? Are you getting it? This is the first row. In the first row there is a name. In the second row, sorry, in the first row, in the second column, there is one text field. So I will get here as a TR. That is a table row tag. Inside this table row tag, there are two columns. So for column there is a TD tag. First column and second column. Okay, so two columns. In the first column, I want to write a name. In the second column, I want one text box. So input type is equal to what? Input type is equal to text. Name, what is name? Name is equal to name, right? Again, this is the first row. Similarly, I will have 5 rows. Similarly, I want to have 5 rows. The first row is a name. Second row, second row is what? In the second row, the first column is a contact number. Input type is equal to text. Name is equal to I can give here as a C number. That is contact number. Similarly, the third row, that is email ID. Input type is equal to text. Name is equal to email. Similarly here, name, contact number, email ID, password. Now for password, input type is equal to what? For password, input type is equal to password. For password, input type is equal to password and name is equal to, you can give anything like pass. Now what is the significance of this name attribute? Name is equal to name, name is equal to C number, name is equal to email, name is equal to pass. I will tell you afterwards. While when we'll do the servlet part, right? So these are the fields: name, contact number, email ID, password, and city. Now the table tag has been ended, but form tag is still on. In the form tag, I will write one button. So input type is equal to what? Submit. For a button, it has a value attribute. Value is equal to, for example, register, or we can write here as a sign up. Okay, so this is basic registration form. Run file. Okay, we have made spelling mistake in this center. Okay, see. So this is the center tag, right? This is also center tag and end of center. So this is a registration form: name, contact number, email ID, password, and city. Now please concentrate here. Please concentrate here in the registration form. Now here in this registration form, see, I am going to click here on sign up button. See, you can see that here that I am clicking on the sign up button. See, I am clicking on the sign up button, but yet there is no any action, right? It is just I am going to just click on the sign up button. See, I am going to write here as a J, going to click on the sign up button, but there is no any action right now because there is no any action given to the sign up button. So here I want to provide action to this sign up button. Action means what? Whenever you see, I will tell you. Form. Here is a form tag. Form tag has attribute action. Form action is equal to. I will write here as a registration. Form action is equal to registration. Method is the another attribute. Method is equal to post. Okay. See. Now I am going to refresh this button. Now I am going to click on sign up button. See. Now as I have given the action to the sign up button, and I have clicked on the sign up button. What happened? It is showing us that HTTP status 404. 404 means page not found. Means what? Means what? When I have given action to this registration form, the action given is a registration. The action given is a registration. Whenever I have given action, see what is the meaning of this line? Form action is equal to registration and method is equal to post. It means that in this form there is one button, and when you will click on this button, what action to be performed, that is mentioned in the registration file in the post method, right? Are you getting it? In this form there is one button. The name of that button is whatever it may be submit, the sign up, whatever. But in this form there is one button, and compile, and where this code is telling to the compiler that, see, whenever user will click on this sign up button, what action to be performed, that is defined in this registration servlet in the post method. So now whenever I have done this coding, the compiler is going to find this registration servlet, but it is not getting the registration servlet. The requested resource is not available because yet we have not created the registration servlet. So next step is what? we have to create one servlet with the name registration, right? With the name registration. Now I have already told you all the JSP pages will appear inside the under the folder web pages. Now we have to create servlet. Servlet will come under the source packages. In the source packages, you can create a default. You can create servlets under the default package also, or you can create your own package. So new Java package. So I will create here a package name as a DAO, for example, database operation. Finish. So inside this DAO, I will create one new servlet. I will create one new servlet. The name of that servlet is a registration. Next, as I have told you already that for every servlet which you will create, you have to make an entry of that servlet in the web.xml file, right? So here you can see, I will close this. This is a web inf folder. This is a web inf folder. I am going to click on the plus button of this web inf folder. See, there is nothing inside the web inf. There is nothing inside the web inf folder because right now there is no any servlet. But now I am going to create a new servlet. New servlet. The name of that servlet is a registration. I am clicking on next button. Now here I am clicking the checkbox that add information to deployment descriptor. This is a NetBeans IDE, and NetBeans IDE facilitates us to add information to deployment descriptor directly from here. So I'm just clicking here, add information to deployment descriptor, and finish. Now see, the web.xml file has been created inside the web automatically. And in this web.xml, we are having our servlet entry. So what is this? All these things. See, this is the registration name of the servlet. DAO.registration means this is the actual URL. This is the actual URL. This is the actual URL of your servlet. Means where is this servlet located inside the DAO package. And this is what? This is a slash registration means what? Whenever user will run the web application, what URL user can see on the web page, that is called as this slash registration. देखो, जब भी आप कोई ऑनलाइन फॉर्म फिलअप करते हो तो आपको वेब एप्लीकेशन पे एक यूआरएल दिखता है, राइट? मगर फॉर सिक्योरिटी पर्पस यूआरएल में आपको लोकेशन नहीं दिखाना है. आपका जो कोड किया है उस कोड का एक्चुअल लोकेशन नहीं दिखाना है. जैसे कि यहाँ पर है DAO.registration, एक्चुअल लोकेशन नहीं दिखाना है आपको, यूजर को बाय डिफॉल्ट कुछ तो लोकेशन दिखाना है. इसलिए this is the URL pattern. URL pattern means what? This is the URL pattern that user can see on the web page, and this is the actual URL. Actual URL will not get displayed on the web page. So for security purpose, we have two URLs here. One is actual URL, one is URL that we are going to show to the user on the web page. And this is the servlet name. You can write here S1 also. I'm by default here is a registration, right? So this is the basic significance of web.xml. So now we have created registration.java file here, servlet. Now see, public, this is the by default coding which will appear inside this registration.java servlet. This is a public class registration extends HTTP servlet. Means we have created registration servlet. Our servlet is a child class of HTTP servlet by default. So our servlet is a child class of HTTP servlet. Now in this servlet, I'm going to remove the unwanted part. These are the comments. I don't want these comments. I have removed it. I'm clicking here on this plus button so that it will show the full code. Now this is the protected void process request method. I don't want this method, so I am going to remove this. After this method, there are some comments. After this comments, there is one another method that is doGet. I'm also going to remove this. After that method, there are some comments. I'm going to remove that comments also. Okay. These are also some comments. And after these comments, there is one method that get servlet info. So I have removed all these things. This is a process request. I am going to remove it. So now this is a public registrations extends HTTP servlet. And right now I am going to do my business logic here. What is my logic? My logic is that to add information from the form and insert it into the database. Right, this is my action. And for that purpose, our code will appear here. Okay, so what is the first step? What is the first step? My first step is what? See, now you first of all, what will happen? First of all, this is our registration form. First of all, user will enter his information over here: name, contact number, email ID, password, city. Name, contact number, email ID, and password. We have forgot to add city here. Name, contact number, email ID, password. We will add one extra thing, that is a city also here. City. Input type is equal to text and name is equal to city. Right. So click on refresh button. City. So name, contact number, email ID, password, and city. This is our basic HTML. Means name, contact number, email ID, password, city. We have created this form. Now, when user will enter on the sign up button, the information will be inserted into the database. This is our aim. So for that purpose, first thing, we are having two pages. One is registration.jsp, one is registration.java. We have already told to the compiler that when user will enter on the sign up button, the action performed will be defined in the registration.java. Means when user will click on the sign up button, at the backend registration.java servlet will get executed. Okay, so what is the aim of here? First of all, I will define everything in Java is a string. So first of all, I will define the one string as a name, string name. See, यहाँ पर मुझे क्या करना है अभी? यहाँ पर फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? यहाँ पर फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या है कि I want to import all these things. See, user will enter name, contact number, email ID, password, and city. All these things are saved in the front end. This is the front end. This is a JSP page. This is the part of front end. This is a part of front end, right? This is a part of front end. So I have to import that front end parameters from JSP to Java. This is the first step. So temporarily, when user will enter name here, that name will be saved temporarily in this name. Input type is equal to text, name is equal to name. When user will enter contact number over here, temporarily that contact number will be saved in this C number. When user will enter email ID over here, temporarily that email ID will be saved in this name is equal to email. You can write whatever here. I have written here as a name is equal to email. You can write name as a user email also, you email. Whatever you can, this is a temporary variable where that information will get stored. Now this is the registration.java. Here, first step is what? Declare strings. Declare strings. First string is string name. Now see, this is a protected void do post. It has at parameters like HTTP request, HTTP response. See, हम यहाँ पर जो सीख रहे हैं, फास्ट सीख रहे हैं हम. मतलब जैसे कि बेसिक चीजें जो भी है, बेसिक चीजें हम वहां पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं कर रहे हैं. हम जो जावा है अभी देखो, डे टू डे लाइफ जो है वो फास्ट हो गई है. हमको बेसिक में ज्यादा टाइम नहीं इन्वेस्ट करना है. हम जो है इंस्टेंटली हमने क्या चालू किया है अभी, वेब एप्लीकेशन. तो कुछ चीजें आपको समझ में नहीं आएगी, मगर आप जब फैमिलियर हो जाओगे तब आपको समझ में आ जाएगी। तो यहाँ पर क्या है, देखो यहाँ पर एक HTTP रिक्वेस्ट नाम का क्लास है, उसका ऑब्जेक्ट है रिक्वेस्ट। HTTP रिस्पॉन्स नाम का क्लास है, उसका ऑब्जेक्ट है रिस्पॉन्स। तो जो भी रिक्वेस्ट एंड रिस्पॉन्स, ये तो बेसिक चीजें हैं। जब आप सर्वर पे कोई इंफॉर्मेशन एंटर करते हो तो यू आर द मतलब योर ब्राउजर इज नथिंग बट द क्लाइंट मीन्स, एंड योर सर्वर इज द सर्वर। सो जो भी क्लाइंट साइड से चीजें आती है, that are that things, that parameters you can access using this request object. And जब भी whenever server wants to respond something to the client, that is browser, at that time we will need response object, request response। client request कर रहा है, client के parameters request object के साथ रहेंगे, मतलब request object के साथ उनको आप access कर सकते हो। और जो सर्वर से आपको रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, that you can access or that you can handle with the help of response object। so here this name, this is a name, contact number, email id, password, city, ये कौन फिलअप कर रहा है? यूजर फिलअप कर रहा है, मतलब ब्राउजर से। तो here browser will be client, so this is the client side parameters, right? Client side parameters, so this we can access using request object। so there is one, see in a Java it is object oriented programming language, means there are class, object, inside what is inside the class, inside the class there are some methods, there are some variables, right? How you can access that methods? For example, there is one class A, there is one class C. I am giving you a very short description over here for some electronics background people. See, this is a class A. Inside this class means what? In a class there are some variables, for example int a comma b comma c semicolon float d, for example these are some variables. Again there may be some method void a, void add. Inside that void add method there may be some coding that int q is equal to a plus b plus c, for example, like that. And print means here in Java system dot out dot print, print print what? Addition is equal to plus q, for example. Okay, so this is your class A. Inside this class these are some variables, this is one method void add, and this is a whatever the coding inside the method. Now see, for example there is a void main method, there is a main method. Now see, program execution always starts from the main method. So inside this main method I want to access, this is a void add method inside this class A. This is a class A, this is a class, right? This is a class, this is a method, this is a method. So this is a class, this is a method, and this add method is inside this class A. Now I want to access this add method. So where is that add method? That add method is inside the class A. What is the name of that class? So class A. I want, first of all I have to create the object of class A. So A space, I have created object as A1 is equal to new A, for example. Now I want to access that method. Now I have created object of that class A. Now I can access the method. I can access the method as A1 dot add, like that. Now whenever whenever this code will get executed, it will call this add method. So what is the need of object? Object is used to call the methods or any variables of that, or to refer the parameters of that class, right? So this is the aim of class. So here this is a HTTP request. HTTP servlet request is a class. Object is request. Now I'm using this request object. Request dot. There is one method. The name of that method is a get parameter. In double quote, name, semicolon. So first of all, I have defined string name is equal to. What I have to save in this name? Whatever user will enter here name, that I have to save in this name. But right now, where is that saved? Where is means this name is saved in the HTML, means in the JSP. In the JSP. Here. Input type is equal to text, name is equal to name. Right. So this name, right now this name is saved in the JSP. I have to take, or I have to import that thing into the Java. So I have defined one string name. I have used request object of this class. I have called this get parameter method. Right. Similarly, similarly, string name is equal to name, contact number, email ID, password, and city. Name, contact number, email ID. Here is a password. And city. Okay. So string name, contact number, email ID, password, city. I have defined these 5 variables. So I have used request.get parameter name. So this is a registration.jsp. Here I have defined input type is equal to text, name is equal to name. So I have written here as a name. Right. Right. Now in this registration.jsp, here is a input type is equal to text, name is equal to C number. So whenever user will enter contact number here, temporarily, that contact number will be saved in this C number. In this C number, I have to import that contact number here in Java. So string contact is equal to request.get parameter C number. Similarly, email, password, and city. For email, I have entered here as a U email, right? So I will write here as a U email. For password, I have written here as a pass, right? So I will write here as a pass. For city, I have written here as a city. So I will write here as a city. See, if you can write anything here, input type is equal text, name is equal, you can write CT. If you will write CT, you have to write here also CT. Okay. So now what happened? Now what happened? जो भी यूजर ने एंटर किया था फॉर्म पे, वो पहले जेएसपी में था, वो जेएसपी से हमने सरलेट में ले लिया है। अब तक यहाँ तक ये हो गया। अभी मुझे रिस्पॉन्स देना है, जैसे मैंने बताया कि रिस्पॉन्स अगर देना है तो उसके लिए रिस्पॉन्स ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए। अगर मुझे कुछ प्रिंट करना है, अगर सर्वर को कुछ रिस्पॉन्ड करना है, क्लाइंट को मतलब कुछ प्रिंट करना है, कुछ आउटपुट देना है, तो उसके लिए हमको प्रिंट राइटर क्लास की जरूरत पड़ती है। तो प्रिंट राइटर नाम का क्लास है, प्रिंट राइटर, उसका मैं ऑब्जेक्ट बनाता हूँ pw इज इक्वल टू, उसके लिए मुझे रिस्पॉन्स नाम का ऑब्जेक्ट लगेगा, रिस्पॉन्स, उसकी मेथड है डॉट गेट राइटर, उसकी मेथड है गेट राइटर। तो प्रिंट राइटर pw इज इक्वल टू रिस्पॉन्स डॉट गेट राइटर, उसके हिसाब से मैंने प्रिंट करने के लिए ये pw ले लिया है यहाँ पर। ठीक है, अभी आगे वाला जो कोडिंग है उसके लिए हमको क्या लगेगा, अभी नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या करनी है, हमको यहाँ पर नेम, कॉन्टेक्ट नंबर, ईमेल आईडी, पासवर्ड, सिटी वगैरह सब कुछ मिल गया है जावा में। अब सेकंड स्टेप क्या है कि वो हमको सब कुछ जो है डेटाबेस में इंसर्ट करना है, राइट। तो डेटाबेस में इंसर्ट करने के लिए हमको देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ JDBC, देयर इज नीड ऑफ JDBC। JDBC. So what is JDBC? Java Database Connectivity is used to interact with the database from Java application. If you want to interact with the database from Java application, there is a need of JDBC. Why we'll require some steps to connect with the database from Java application? Because see, for example, I can I can understand only English language, for example, and you understand only Hindi language, for example. You understand only Hindi language, I don't understand Hindi, you don't understand English. So what will happen, we will require one translator, we will require one language translator in between us. So that translator will translate my English communication into the Hindi and your Hindi communication into the English, so we both can communicate with each other with the help of that translator, right. Similarly, Java is an object oriented programming language. Java understands only objects, Java understands only objects, and SQL understands query language, right? So to communicate in this two, that is Java and SQL, we will require one driver. We will require one driver. So first step is what? Load and register driver. Second step is establish connection. Third step is prepare statement. Fourth is execute query, and last is close connection. Now see, for example, just ignore about Java for some time, for a minute. For a minute, ignore about Java. For example, suppose you want to communicate or you want to perform some database operation from database itself. You may have performed some operations, right? If you want to perform database operations from database itself, means from SQL itself, there is only one step, that is execute query, right. You have to write a query and execute that query, simple thing. But as we are communicating from Java application, as I have told you, we will require one driver. So there is first step, there is simple step, load and register driver. Second step is what, you have to establish connection between your Java application and the database. Connection means what, connection means you have to tell the compiler that where is your Java application located, where you want to insert or update or delete, or what activity you want to perform, and where means what, in which table, in which database. In your database there may be different databases, so in which database you want to perform the activity, in which database, in which table you want to perform the activity. So this is called as a connection, right. So establish connection. Afterwards, prepare a statement, execute query, and close connection. Prepare statement. Statement means it's a carrier of your query. You have to define the query, you have to execute that query, and afterwards close the connection. So these are the simple 5 steps for JDBC. What is the need of JDBC? What is JDBC? What are the steps of JDBC? I have told you. So now again I am coming to the registration.java. Already I have one file which I have already created in another application. So I will just copy paste that thing, registration.java. Here this is the coding. So this is our registration.java file. Here I will write this, copy paste this coding. Okay, so see, this is do get method. First of all, I have imported all these things. Then I have defined one object so that I can respond to the client with the help of this PW, that is print writer. Then these are the 5 steps of JDBC. First step is what? Load and register driver. So this is a load and register driver class dot for name com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Establish connection. This is a connection. There is one class in Java which I have implemented the interface named connection. So I have created one object of this connection class. I have used this driver manager, right, and called the method get connection. Inside this, as I have told you, to establish the connection, first of all, I have to tell the compiler that what is the name of that database. This is the name of database. I will give here triple A demo as a name of my database. Triple A demo. What is the username and password? Root. So triple A demo is the name of database. Where is that located? That is located at the local host 3306. Port number is 3306. If your port number is 3307, you have to write here as a 3307. Then how you are going to communicate? You are going to communicate to the MySQL using JDBC. Right. So this is the total URL for the connection. Sorry. This is the total URL for your connection. This is username. This is the password. Right. So this is you have established connection. You have prepare statement. What is the query? Insert into. Now this is the registration or sign up action. Means what? Whenever you will click here on the sign up, what action will be performed? Whatever your information will get inserted into the database. This is the action. Means insert action. So we will require the insert query of MySQL. What is the query? Insert into table name in bracket column name values. This is the keyword in bracket values. Right. So right now I am going to create a table named. First of all, I have to create the database named triple A demo. So here I will create one database. Create a new schema. Create new schema triple A demo. Okay. So in this create triple A demo, I will create new table. The name of table I will write here as a user. First column is always ID, name, contact number, email ID, password, and city. Right. So apply changes, execute query, and close. So this is my table, user table, right? User table. So insert into what is table name? User. What are the column names? I will right click here, copy column names. Right click, copy column names. I will come here and I will copy the column names here. The first column is ID is auto increment, so there is no need to add manually. So name, contact number, email ID, password, city. There are 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And values, inside the values I have written as a question mark 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 question marks. Why? Because if I will write here as a name, I will see what is the query. Insert into table name in bracket column name values in bracket values. I can write values here instead of question marks. I can write here as a J, contact number as a 123 for example, email ID is j@gmail.com, password is 123, city is Pune for example. But no, that will be a static. That will be a static input. Means every time whenever I will run this program, by default automatically it will insert. Whenever I will click on the sign up button, it will insert only this static information. Only this static information. User will enter his information. For example, some student have entered here his name, his or her name, contact number, email ID, password, city, on clicked on sign up button. Each and every time that servlet will get executed, and that servlet will enter static information, static information into the database. Right. But we don't want static information. We want the information to be get inserted into the database which is entered by user. And where is that information? The information that is entered by user is in the JSP page. Is in the JSP page in this temporary variable name, temporary variable C number, temporary variable U email, temporary variable pass, and we have We have imported that into this string name, string contact, string email, string password, string city. From this name, C number, you email, pass and city. So we have to insert this information, right? So we have to set these question marks below. PS dot set string one means first question mark. First question mark means name. This is name. This is name. This is the contact number. Second question mark. So second question mark we have inserted this contact information. Third question mark is email. So we have inserted this email from here. Fourth is passwords. We have inserted password which is here. Fifth is pass city. So city is here. We have inserted from here. So we have inserted all these things, and if query is executed, we have to we have to go to the next page, that is index.html, for example. So I will enter here, I will open here index.html. So when your registration will be successful, you will be redirected to the next page. So that next page is, for example, welcome to the JSM Infotech, a step towards digital India and make in India, right? So I want this in the h1 tag. Okay. So welcome to the JSM Infotech, a step towards digital India. This is the index.html and this is the registration.jsp. So in this registration, when user will click on this sign up button, what action will be taken? It will execute this registration.java servlet. So in this registration.java servlet, what we have done? We have taken the parameters from user. We have created database JDBC operations, JDBC steps, and we are going to insert this into AAA demo in this username table. This is the user table. Right now there is no any information in this table. So all is done. Now see one more thing. This is a try catch block we have used here. What is the use of this try catch block? See, the use of try catch block is what? Whenever you will perform any operation and there are some chances to get exception. For example, suppose you are doing some mathematical operation, you are requesting two numbers from the user, you are performing the division operation and you are displaying the output. In that case suppose first number entered by user is 4, second number entered by user is 2, so 4 divided by 2 you will display output as a 2. But in case if user have entered first number as a 4 and second number as a 0, what will happen? The output will be infinity. That will be the exception in Java. So in such a case you have to handle that exception, right? So to handle the exception we are using try catch block. So what is the significance of try block and what is the significance of catch block? The code in which exception may occur, the code in which exception can occur, that code is written under the try block simply, and in a catch block that exception is handled. So here in try block we have written this coding. So what exception can occur here? For example, I am telling the compiler here that please make a connection with AAA demo which is on localhost 3306 with username root and password root. But suppose what will happen? Suppose there is no any database with the name AAA demo. What will happen? Exception will occur. Suppose if your local host port number is 3307, exception will occur. Suppose there is a database with a name AAA demo, but there is no any table with the name user. What will happen? Exception will occur. Suppose there is no any column name in the user table. What will happen? Exception will occur. So in such a cases, if exception will occur, it will handle the exception and we can trace that exception. That exception will get printed, right? And in this way we can handle the exception. So to handle the exception, we are using try catch block. Okay. Next and important thing, as we are doing database operation, there is one dependency that we have to add one library, one jar file, that is a Java connector, JDBC connector. So how to add the library? Just simply right click on your project, simple way to click on properties, click on libraries, click on add jar or folder. Wherever there is a jar file in your PC, browse that jar file, double click on that jar file and add. Okay, so now everything is okay, everything is right. Now I am going to run this registration.jsp page, right? So now here I will add as a name, contact number, email ID, password as 123, city as for example Pune,